expectations going into this meet originally were pretty high. I was pretty upset how Vegas had played out, and so I kind of went on a rampage trying to get in shape and get ready. The last couple weeks though going into this competition were a struggle. I don't think I cleaned above 170 for like the month leading up into AOs. I only snatched like 150. I was dealing with a bunch of issues that kind of derailed the original plan.
Rob's performance was the most stressful of the group. You know, he is our most senior athlete. He knows exactly what to do. He knows how to do it. It's just a matter of, you know, showing up and getting the job done. And so unfortunately, for us and for him, he got a little like abdominal tweak somewhere near the psoas in the 2 weeks leading up to the competition. So that was definitely causing some issues with regard to his snatch performance and some pain in his clean pull. But you know, everything starts with the snatch for Rob. You know, he's been a very efficient snatcher over the years, and so when his movement pattern is off, there's real concern because he does it so well.
So going into the snatches, I felt pretty strong, but I was hurting. I ended up straining either a lower ab or psoas about a week out from the competition. Originally I thought it was just a bruise, and so I was just kind of pushing through it. And so even through the snatches, that's kind of just what I thought it was. My pull felt strong leading up to the platform. I don't think it affected me too much physically in the snatch, more probably mentally than anything. But I felt pretty strong out there. You know, it might have affected me a little bit from a strength standpoint, but not enough that it hindered me at those kind of weights.
Going out there missing his opener at 150 was incredibly frustrating. Coming back and hitting 150, you know, things were starting to look up, and then coming back for 153. And I watched the video 100 times. I still am not quite sure how he missed it. You know, the 153 looked very strong. It was just completely unfortunate that, you know, he didn't spend a little more time in the bottom of the squat and stabilize before recovering. And I've always known as we move into lighter weight classes, as we move down, so Rob went from a 94 to an 89, you automatically just receive the benefit of more mobility in the bottom of these squats. And so, you know, these receiving positions, you're lighter, you don't have the same tension, you know, through the body. You have, you know, just more mobility in these deeper positions. And unfortunately, mobility without stability, you know, is not a good thing in the lifts, and so it causes ultimately misses, you know, and in some cases injury.
I missed my opener. I just kind of shorted the finish a little bit, so I came back. 150 felt real strong, and then 153 I kind of just made the mental mistake of rushing the stand-up versus stabilizing. It was a lift that should have been made for sure. Watching the videos, that it was definitely a good enough attempt. It was in the right position. I just needed to settle before standing, and so that's something that I'll work up to for the next competition, is really focusing on being patient in the receiving position. Clean and jerk was definitely a different story. I was hurting a lot more through the clean and jerks. I was okay with the lighter weights, but right about 153 I noticed that I was starting to pull on one leg. Even though I made it, it felt really off for being something that I just attempted in the snatch. My last attempt in the clean and jerk I missed pretty bad because I was struggling to pull at that point. I missed one pretty far forward in the clean, and then eventually I tried it a second time and couldn't even go under it. So going to the platform, I had made 153 kilos and I was opening with 180. I think it kind of put everyone on edge. The clean and jerks, you know,
once we snatch, you snatch what you can, you clean and jerk what you must. We had 3 numbers to try and target from a total standpoint. So the first number put him on the list for the Pan Am team, put him 10th. The second number put him 9th, and the third number put him a really solid 9th, where we thought that it was really a really high likelihood that he was going to be able to maintain that position. We ended up hitting the first number, but we knew what those numbers were moving from snatch to clean and jerk. Through the warm-ups, he got to his top warm-up set and 173 kilos, and he missed the clean. That's frustrating, because I know that Rob can clean 173 kilos on one leg. There's no excuse for missing it. But you mentally, you get in a position where you have some pain, you have some stress, and you make some errors. And then he came back and just pulled it and essentially didn't go under. So we were faced with lowering his opener to 180 kilos as opposed to 183 kilos, which hits our first hurdle.
Finish and move. Come on.
And as he walked out there, I kind of had the expectation that he was going to clean and jerk the shit out of it, and he did. And then that set us up for a second attempt, to be able to hit the total that we needed.
Yeah, come on, party. Let's go.
One more. So 183 kilos on his second attempt. Again, cleaned it, and then jerked it, and then was turned down 2-1. And if anybody watched the last last World Championship qualifier, where he hit 185 kilos and held it, and then just for whatever reason, received a longer down signal than every other athlete in the competition, and didn't get awarded the lift. We were just really crestfallen at that point. We were all kind of just temporarily. You have to put your good coaching hat on. You have to say, no problem, we'll get the next one. But I was pretty defeated inside for a moment, and then a miraculous thing happened. The jury overturned the lift, and that's the sport. Sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't go your way, and we were very fortunate this time that they overturned it, and so he ended up with a quality total.
I really wasn't even sure what was going to happen at that point. Dave was stressed out. I think everyone else in the back room didn't really know what to do. I was obviously frustrated being in that situation, so when I get that way, it's kind of hard to settle me down at the same time. But 9 years on the platform, I know how to compete, and I was able to pull off my opener at 180 and then come back to 183, which is the number I needed to move up to be the second 89 in the country right now. And I was able to pull that off, and then I took 187. That would have moved me up a couple spots for the Pan Am team, and I ran out of pulls. I couldn't pull it, didn't really even attempt to go under it, and so definitely an interesting experience. Definitely the first time I've struggled like that going in, but I was able to pull out 2 of them, so it was a win for the day. There was both good and bads of this meet. Obviously, I feel like I left a lot on the table again because of the injury. Right now, I'm healing up, trying to gear up, kind of figure out what meet I'm going to hit next. If I'm going to go to the last chance qualifier for Pan Ams, or just end up going to Vegas in March. It will be decided the first week of January whether I'm healed up enough to train or not. And then as far as mindset goes, I'm confident that I was able to pull off that total and move up the rankings, not being 100%, not even being probably 70%, but it's trying to find the fine line of training hard but training smart. I think I let my kind of passion over what happened in Vegas lead me through the last training cycle, and I kind of avoided listening to my body versus just kind of pushing as hard as I can. And so trying to be able to push, but just be a little smarter in the approach, I guess, will be the next phase. I can't push like I used to, and I need to kind of remember that.
It was funny, Nicole and I were talking, because we had 3 athletes competing on all 3 platforms, red, white, and blue platforms at the same time, Kelly, Christian, and Rob. And so, when Rob only made 1 snatch, I told Nicole, I said, watch, she's going to come back and make 3 clean and jerks, and these other guys might fold. And so it was cool for that to come to pass. Rob is a fighter, if nothing else. He doesn't go quietly into the night. He is going to he's going to make you beat him. He's not going to beat himself in the clean and jerk. So it's just always encouraging just to see, despite adversity, despite injury, an athlete that you have a lot of respect for prevail. Rob is not done. Rob still has some work to do to get on this Pan Am Championship team, but he's well positioned to do that now. And so we'll see what happens with the last chance qualifier.